Today marks 3 years since Russia invaded Ukraine, and many Ukrainians have been killed trying to defend their country. But with the new administration, some Ukrainians are doubtful the war will end on good negotiating terms for their country.
And our Washington, D.C. correspondent, Rachel Knapp, joins us now live. And Rachel, what is the very latest from Washington tonight? Good evening.
Good evening, Mike and Eva. So this anniversary comes at a time of high anxiety for many Ukrainians that I heard and spoke to. Some of them live in the Washington, D.C. area. They tell me that they want this war to end very desperately, but they are very concerned about these negotiations between the U.S. and Russia. They're worried that the U.S. will cut a deal for Russia that could potentially include annexing parts of Ukraine's land, which is something that they are strongly against.
Stand with Ukraine!
On Saturday, Ukrainians and supporters of Ukraine rallied along the National Mall, admiring Ukraine's bravery in defending their country against Russia, while also honoring those who have died during the 3-year invasion.
We must be brave and we must support our country.
We got to stand up and do what's right. How can we sit and do nothing when we see a peaceful people get overrun by a terrorist?
For many that we spoke to, they either have family in Ukraine or fled the war.
I think it's very emotional for them, and they wish they were not here and they have normal, perfect, peaceful life back home.
Ukrainians say the war has caused 3 years of devastation and destruction.
It doesn't matter where you live and how far you are from the front line. You can feel the war and siren. Doesn't matter where you live in Ukraine.
President Trump is determined to end the war on his watch, but has shut out Ukraine from the negotiating table. Although people we spoke with desperately want an end to the war, they also don't want a bad deal for Ukraine.
Those who ignore history are bound to repeat itself. And so we already saw this happen with Hitler, where people stood by and literally did nothing, and he just kept taking and taking and taking.
It's been 3 years, right? And so many people died, so many families are broken. I hope this war gonna stop soon, and not with the cost of Ukraine giving their land.
And Mike and Eva, France's President Emmanuel Macron, he is at in Washington today. We actually saw him not too long ago in the halls of the Capitol, but he also visited with President Trump just a couple of hours earlier. One of the main topics was, of course, the war in Ukraine. Also earlier today over in New York at the United Nations, the U.S. Sided with Russia and also other Russian-friendly countries, voting down a resolution that would condemn Russia's aggression towards Ukraine. Mike and Eva, back to you.